What's up, guys? This is Simplistic bringing you a 1v1 between Lerolim, the red Zerg spawning bottom left, and his opponent Skyler, blue Terran spawning top right. Errol being managed, GLHF, Skyler not saying anything. I don't know, I don't like people who say that. That usually scares me that they're gonna cheese or something, but that's just because I'm in silver. And silver I get cheesed pretty often, which is really dumb. But anyways, let's open that up and we will go to the production tab because that one is just whatever. Whatever. Okay, so Skyler is doing some sort of spam click already. His APM is going crazy off the beginning, which is kind of dumb. But I mean, it's not like I don't know, he's just spamming everywhere. Now, Lerolim did do the Vespine geyser gas trick thing with the drones. I can't talk right now. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I'm sure it just gets that one drone like a little extra early. Now he does send this Overlord to scout this close by air position, and he knows that his opponent isn't here, because he doesn't see anything like, you know, around this general area or mining either of these mineral patches. Skyler does send this one SCV out towards this general area to scout this position first, and then I'm sure he'll go down to scout this one next, because why would you go here and then go like all the way across? It's just kind of making like a big Z. Skyler does have the barracks down, and it looks like Lerolim is going for 15 hatch, and I don't see a pool yet. Oh, there it is, 15 hatch, and well, it was 14 pool, but getting rid of that one drone, he's now at a 13 pool, which puts Skyler ahead in mining by just a little bit. But I mean, it's no problem. See, he's already got 3 more drones showing up. Skyler does see his base. I'm almost positive he saw. Oh no, he didn't see the hatchery. That could be trouble if he doesn't actually spot this. He does see the 13 pool, which generally shows that they're not going to rush. But you never know what your opponent's going to do. You just have to constantly scout and just be wary that something may happen. But right there, yep, he did get a glimpse of that hatchery. And even if he didn't quite catch it himself when he was passing by, on his minimap this big red square will show up. So he will obviously know that Lerolim has expanded. And right now he is going for 1 racks, 1 factory. So I'm sure we'll be seeing some Helion play with switching the buildings and, you know, all that fun stuff where he just gets that early blue flame and those 4 early Helions that he just medevac drops. Or he can just send them right up, because this natural, if it's left unguarded, will be very easy for him to hit with Helions, and his drones will get completely owned. Especially if he gets blue flame, because blue flame is just devastating to drones. If you watched any of MLG Anaheim, you would easily know that blue flame friggin' raffle stomps drones, and really any worker for that fact. Now Skyler is putting the factory on the reactor, so he's going to be getting those 4 early Helions, and then he may switch with the Tech Lab barracks again and make sure that he gets that blue flame upgrade, which would really allow him to do very early harassment. But Lerolim does have 2 spine crawlers down, a 3rd spine crawler also showing up, which means that I don't really believe, just because of the range on the spine crawlers, that he could run in here unless he got all the way back way behind the minerals. But the queen could block it. These spine crawlers would do a lot of damage, and just doesn't look like the best thing he can do. I do like the placement on these overlords for Lerolim. It really shows if your opponent's coming from any way, so he can definitely be really early prepared for that. He does notice these 2 Helions just sitting there at the middle, and probably thought they were going to be for an early harass, but his spine crawlers are done, so he really doesn't need to worry. Now what I'm surprised to see that is, instead of blue flame for the Helions, he decides to get siege mode even when these blue flame, or not blue flame, when these Helions are this close to his base. So he does spot the spine crawlers, decides to go up towards the main, where there's only 1 spine crawler defending the mineral line, But without Blue Flame, these Hellions are going to be much, much weaker, not being able to get as many drone kills as he would like to have. That takes out 2. And he does get chased out of the base, right into the Spine Crawlers, and the Spine Crawlers take out that Hellion. These drones are being transferred down. He does have a second Queen for this base. It definitely looks like a Spanishiwa build. But right as I say that, he gets his gas, and he's going to start teching up after he just droned for like the longest time. He has 22 Lings on the way. Well, that's pretty crazy. I don't know, it might have been an overreaction to the Hellion, that he may have thought it was a push coming and that he was just trying to hold it off. But either way, he does have these Lings out now. There's nothing he's going to be able to do about that. Skyler is a little bit supply blocked. I don't even see a supply depot. There's the 2 supply depots going down. He's definitely behind. If he has some energy, he could have just done the extra supplies call down, but instead he does call down the mule and just starts to mine, even during his supply block. His Blue Flame is about halfway done, and he is training additional Hellions at this factory with Reactor. He's most likely going to be expanding on, well, I guess I don't know exactly what he's doing. He's just kind of chilling outside of his base, which would make me think that he'd, build an expansion and fly it over here. But I don't know. It looks like he's just going to be sitting here waiting to push. Or maybe he'll turtle. I don't know. It definitely seems like he should really expand right now with these Blue Flame Hellions. Blue Flame just about done. And these tanks sitting here, which could probably be positioned better on the high ground, but either way, they're in good positioning around all of his units. Lerolim does poke in, or he's going to poke in this 1 Ling Scout, just to see exactly what's going on with Skyler. Let's shift to his point of view. He sees the Hellion, the Marine. He doesn't see the tanks yet, but there he goes. He spots the tanks, Marines, Hellions pushing out. He is trying to tear down this rock so he can get his 3rd at the gold, which is pretty good positioning because this player, just because of this middle divider, just really limits your ability to go to different places around the map. And not suspecting the 3rd base being around yet, or not suspecting him to be tearing down the rocks for the 3rd base yet, he is just going to push towards the main, which may get him in a little bit of trouble. He searches for Baneling landmines right there because Banelings would really wreck this heavy Marine, just heavy like light army. The Queen is pulled out to try and help do a little bit of damage, but that's just not what it needs. The Spines are trying to do as much damage as possible, but these tanks outrange the Spines greatly. He sends in a few Lings, and he still has these reinforcements sitting in the back. I'm sure he's just waiting for the perfect opportunity for them to move up towards his ramp so they can get it a choke, and he can just attack, send the Lings, or Banelings in, and just start to kill that. But he does have more Banelings popping up right here, and these Hellions and Marines are just able to completely roast those Banelings before they can do any damage because of the stim. He does make a slight mistake, though. He tries to go in with the Banelings on the high ground, but it was very close, and now the Banelings have Baneling speed, and they're just having a good old time just freaking rolling around. The Spire is almost done. I can't believe I didn't see that going down. Medevacs are probably on the way because, I don't know, you see the reactor, there's nothing that he would think is air. Yep, there are the Medevacs. I'm really surprised he didn't expand behind this. I guess he was trying to macro his army. Errol is floating over 1,000 minerals right now, though. I'm sure he's just waiting to get lots and lots of Mutalisks. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this production shoot up, like, yeah, massively from Mutalisks. But that's not even that many Mutalisks. I guess that's just using all the available resources he has, though. And these Lings are going to be just sitting here waiting for his opponent. His Queen is laying creep. He's trying to get a good creep spread, get some map control. He does have his 3rd going down at the gold base now instead of this regular base. He does see, I think he saw these Hellions coming. The Hellions are probably going to go into his base and do a lot of damage, but the Mutalisks are here, so he's going to back off. However, these Mutalisks are just already on their way out here. I don't know if he exactly... I know he saw them on the minimap, but I don't know if he spotted exactly what was coming. He does know they turned around. He has the Zerg flyer attacks, level 1, coming up, and he also has ground attack and armor on his way. He has the Mutalisk going over, doing a perfect harass here because there is absolutely no anti-air sitting here, which is forcing Skyler to have to go move out or bring his Marines back, but he does decide to move out. He's just waiting, which is not the best thing he could do. These two medevacs are just sitting here. If they could go with the army, they would be this army would be a lot more powerful, but he does have two medevacs already with him. He's bringing all the SCVs down with him. He doesn't need to move them that far away, I don't think. But these Mutalisks are tearing it up a lot in this base. They're starting to target the starport and the factory. Skyler does move into his base, but these Banelings just tear apart the Marines. Look at that army. That was a massive army. If we switch to the units lost tab really quick, the resources, it still favors blue, but those Banelings really did a lot of work on Skyler's main army. It completely swept up most of the Hellions and almost all of the Marines. The SCVs are finally going back to work right as the Mutas pass over them. The Mutas are going to pick up those SCVs. While Skyler is going into the base, these Lings are trying to get a surround on the Hellions, but he just picks them up. One Hellion does get sniped. He should bring these Lings back and get right underneath these Hellions so that he cannot drop. The Queen is trying to inject Larva and also trying to take down the medevacs, but now the ground army has landed. The Mutas are completely wrecking the mineral line, and Skyler didn't even notice this. I don't know how he didn't. He has a tank and two Hellions right there that could easily be used. The Hellions could run right up the ramp, get in these drone line while he's not paying attention, but the Lings do show up. He picks up, and he's going to redrop on the mineral line most likely. He really should just leave these Lings hovering right around underneath, but for some reason Skyler is trying to manage his units, but I guess all of his SCVs got taken out, except for the ones of this expansion, so he does not... he's in a very uncomfortable position right now, because if this attack doesn't do what it can, he is almost taking out the lair there, but he picks up in the medevac. If he doesn't do the amount of damage that he needs, he may wind up losing this game, so the medevac is going to redrop, but it's instantly picked up. Those two medevacs are trying to heal it. Good drop positioning by Skyler because of this drop. Only a few Lings can engage at a time, but he is focus firing down this lair. The lair does go down. Broodlings come out and clear up most of... Well, actually, yeah, all of what's left. These medevacs are going to fly away, and now Skyler is in really rough positioning because he's only mining off one base. He does have SCVs being trained and mules coming down. He really needs to make this an orbital, and he needs to start remacking. Okay. So, well, I guess Skyler didn't think that he could pull it off, and so no GG, but Skyler has left the game, and I gotta give it to Errol. That was really good positioning when he saw that army coming down this middle choke from this Overlord, and he just ran the Banelings right in, took out almost all of it instantly. And that was what really saved him that game, along with that Mutalisk harass. So it was perfect in the main. As you saw, the main was completely wiped of SCVs, and they all had to go over to the expansion. And at that point, there was nothing Skyler could have done. He was going to get out macroed, and so he just left the game. Thanks for watching. This has been Simplistic.